to save money, often there are too few control buttons. It's like a keyhole surgery to handle the equipment. But if the equipment is MIDI compatible, you can use a computer as controller. Light mixers most likely has MIDI. You can see the MIDI cable 5-pin connectors above. If you don't want to use a computer, you can use a physical controller like this Akai. Here are some examples of beautiful computer programs that control synthesizers. The first was propeller heads. At this stage, I'm interested in the layout of the buttons. This professional MIDI quest is aimed at the Korg X5D, but it's a little pricey. This is arguably the best layout ever, made by an airplane dashboard designer. I made my own layout for the Korg X5D. I wanted to emphasize that there are 2 channels, one for oscillator 1 and another for oscillator 2. So I emphasize that all the way, that there are 2 channels. Going further, once again, 2 channels that are identical. And going up, there's a data section, choosing the program or the patch. And here is the mono or polyphonic selector. Aftertouch settings, the mod wheel settings. And we're following this little path. So we're going the actual sound path that goes through the synthesizer brain. I want to make macros that are combining several parameters into one. And here are the presence controllers, and going down the sound path to the mixture and detune and tuning. And here is the pitch envelope generator and the ADSR sliders, the classic synthesizer language. And here are the pitch modulation generator controls. Going further through this black bridge to the low-pass filter modulation generator and more low-pass filters, and the ADSR sliders, and here is the amplitude controls, and finally the ADSR for amplitude for channel 1 and channel 2. But actually my application can be used to design anything from kitchenware to automobiles. Here is Volvo P1800. Let's explore the D-Designer from the bottom and up. Here are the window, and what we can do with the windows, we can enlarge it in X and Y and directions, and we can also type directly in these little boxes the numbers for the measurements. Here is a color picker, so I can choose color for the background. It took 7 days for me to make the big design with the 150 buttons. With this new software, I expect it to take only 5 minutes. So I have made some smart solutions. Here are the tools, the toolbox. And when you right-click, you can choose splitters. And splitters make out the borders for the panels. It's a faster way of working than making the panels directly. So here are 9 panels, and I control them with just 4 splitters. I can enlarge the splitters like this, so every item is intelligent, you could say. The splitters are movable, and I can even cut them with the scissors tool. Let's have a check. There is the scissors tool. I cut, no. I move it first. Yes, let's move it. I like to move it. Right and left, up and down and up. And let's take the scissors tool. Okay, come on. And cut, snip, and snip. And there, the selector tool, or the move tool, makes it selected. And you can move it like that, a little beam. And I can even make the rounded crossings. So now every crossing is rounded suddenly. A nice look. I can change the color of each convenient layer without interfering with the other layers. And here comes the rounded crossings again. Now to the bridges layer, so I can make connections between the different panels, like bridges. I make them first in a contrasting color, blue in this case. And you can easily change the color to the same as the background color, and they become like this, like beautiful gates in the splitters. And you can change colors as you like, but you have a special button that is called reset color to background color, and it's very convenient like this. As implied by the version number 0.01, this is an alpha version of the program, highly unstable, but it's improving for every week. Here are the routine of dropping items onto the form. So it's very easy to add items like sliders and buttons and images of all kinds. Now, to make the items dangerous to the real world, we have to give them properties. We do it like this: right click on the item, and there's this table with the properties, and you just click and change them. First is the name of the item, and I named it master volume. You can name it anything. Here is the path to the picture and the type of item. Here is a vertical slider. Here is some strange value. I want to change it to like 256. So the maximum value that it gives is 256 in this case. And you can test the movement of the slider thumb by typing percentage here, and the thumb is moving like you could see, just for testing purposes. And here we go on with angle, and so we can make them go to the left or right or circle any position. Too much to talk about, but you can see yourself. Here I can change the label to number 2. You see it changes on the slider. And I can put letters, but numbers are preferable because they are dynamic. They change, as we can see later when we do clones of this. We do arrays. We can change font and font size, and the padding is the distance between the items when we make arrays. And here we give MIDI properties to the item, and it's a very fast way of working. Just click and go. Just a dummy still. It will work some week later. Keep on programming. The items are auto-selectable. I don't have to worry about layers, selecting layers. Just click and go. You're ready to move around. Click and move the item. Click outside and it's passive again. And click on it and it's active. Now we're going to clone or multiply this item. Very easy and very fun to do. And all the items get the same identical properties, so you don't have to write it again. Just change the details that differ. And you see also the label is automatically going from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 till 56 in this case. You can print text and you can change fonts for the text, and that's all I have made so far, but it will develop for each week. Stay tuned. I have programmed this in the language of Pure Basic, made by Fantasy Software, and I really want to thank the team behind Fantasy Software, because it's really a treat to use. Pure Basic compiles on both Windows, Mac, Linux and Amiga. At this early stage, this program is only for Windows. Here you can see the source code in Pure Basic. It's really a friendly environment to work in. They even have their own form designer, so it makes the code automatically if you like. You just click on the gadget. They call the controls gadgets. So this is a button gadget that looks like a button and acts like a button, and the code is made automatically. There is a forum on the internet where you can share your knowledge and ask questions, and the experts are there, hang out there to answer your questions. So I asked questions about MIDI and I got some good answers and made this program.